Hello, how are we guys? We all are okay. Hope you're doing well. Staying safe, staying happy and healthy, and all the other things that make life easy, bearable, and enjoyable. Now, still here in the States. Surprise, again, sunny here today. What a shock. It's always sunny around here. But anyway, I digress. Now, we are having a Scotch day today. We are heading over to the beautiful, beautiful island of Islay. Okay. I'll just say Islay, by the way. Islay is how it's spelled, or spelt, whatever way you want to put it. And it's pronounced Islay. Justin and myself were out cruising about one day, as we are wont to do, and we happened upon the tour guide who was pointing out to a whole coachload of people from the Northampton coast. He says, over there is the beautiful island of Islay. Islay, over there, Islay. And I went, nah, I'm not having that. He's a guide. He should know better. And I said, by the way, buddy, it's Islay, not Islay. And if anybody here's a whiskey drinker, they've probably heard of Lagavulin, Lafroig, Bunnahabhain, Burchlady, Kilchoman, Colilla, and on and on and on. Bowmore, Ardbeg, whatever. Port Ellen. So he looked a little embarrassed. He's getting paid to tell these people things. He should know what he's talking about. And if he doesn't know, he should shut up or not bother talking. And the reason, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a guide. That's what I do for a living. I'm a tour director, a tour guide, tourist guide, whatever way you want to put it. And I try to always have at least some facts. Not always possible, not always, don't have all the answers to all things, but we do try, and we certainly don't comment on places that we don't know how to pronounce. A little bit of a rant over. Lagavulin, the sort of refined peat monster of Islay, or Islay if you're from a really cheap tourist company. Lagavulin is probably my favourite Islay whiskey. It's got lots of peat in it, but it's a bit more refined, a bit more gentlemanly. Look after you, don't bang you in the mouth the way a Lafroig does, or it doesn't. It's not a hooligan of the whole thing. It's where Lafroig would be your boy racer, Lagavulin would be your Bentley Continental GT. This has a couple of my favourite elements of it. A number of really good things going for this, by the way, right? Number one, Lagavulin. Top drawer, love it. Number two, this is an 11-year-old, aged in ex-bourbon, American casks, but then finished for 5 months in Guinness casks. Now, not Guinness from St Stephen's Gate. Actually, it's from the Open Gate Brewery in Baltimore, but still Guinness. Guinness, Lagavulin, and this is the Nick Offerman Edition. Now, if you're not sure who he is, he's the absolutely wonderful Ron Swanson from the hilariously funny Parks and Recreation, a comedy that is unusual these days in that it's actually funny. There's not too many of those about. Everybody tries to be politically correct and still funny, and it doesn't really ever work. Ron Swanson is gloriously un-PC. He mounts a shotgun in his desk so that he can point it at people who are in his office and stuff. He's hilarious, and he drinks Lagavulin. Now, this is the second incarnation of the Nick Offerman Lagavulin bottles. This has been extremely well received. For some publications, for some influencers and this kind of thing, this was their whiskey of the year. They said this was the best whiskey of 2021. I'll be the judge of that, thanks very much, but we'll give it a whirl. Lagavulin, it just has a classy delivery, classy appeal, a real nice gentlemanly run up to the peat on it, and it just has that. That's really how I see it. It delivers it in a nice, smooth way. I'm getting peat right away from here. I can smell it from here. It just pops out of the glass. And if you bring it up, it's just coming up. And it's not, where Lafroig's cut that little bit later to keep the TCP in it, to keep that medicinal, phenolic flavour to it. This is cut a little bit earlier, and it delivers a little bit more refinement. Fresh, elegant, lots of smoke, lots of peat, but it's sitting in the room with the fire on over there with a few peat logs and a damp log on it to bring a lot of smoke just coming out. Rather than going up the chimney, there's a little bit pops out and just fills the room, and it gives you that bonfire nose. But still, there's some fresh flowers coming in there. There's a fresh floral note coming in as well. Briny, coastal, fisherman-y, like being at the sea, it's of its place. It really is of its place. If you ever get a chance of going to Islay, you have the three distilleries. You come into Port Ellen and you have Lagavulin, you have Lagavulin and Ardbeg. They're only a mile apart from each other, and they're not big. These are people have this idea that these big names in Scotch whisky come from these big industrial plants almost, and it's just not the case. It's tiny. I mean, Lagavulin was 1816, and there's not a huge amount that's changed. And to be honest, Lagavulin distillery is built kind of upside down. The stuff comes in and then the water goes up and down, and if you were building it today, you would never build it like that. But that's what they've been left with. I mean, there's not hundreds of people work at Lagavulin. There's probably not even that many into the high tens. I have no idea how many people actually work there. But if you take away the tour guides, who I would, by the way, would know how to pronounce Ireland, just maybe reciprocal would be a good thing. If you take away tour guides, would there be 20 people working there? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not much more than that. If there is, add in tour guides, there's maybe 30, 40 people working there. Colour-wise, doesn't say there's natural colouring. So I'm going to say, if it doesn't say it, then there's probably a chance there's a little bit of colouring in there. Don't know. When you put your nose into this, floral, fresh, briny notes, at the very end, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper until it's actually tarry at the end. It's actually quite viscous tarry on the nose. And it's actually got heat on the nose at the very end. Yeah. We'll have a taste. First off, it's got a really nice mouthfeel. Again, elegant is the word that springs to mind. On the palate, you're getting a nice subtle sweetness, orange sponge almost, or orange, like an orange liqueur almost, elements of that. And all the while, that smoke just sits there, and it comes in on the finish. I still have the smoke in my mouth now. I can still taste that smoky, and it's wonderfully well delivered. It's not aggressive. It's not. This is just like you're sitting in a room having a conversation. Do you remember whenever it used to be, you could go in a pub and there was an open fire, and there was maybe an old guy in the corner smoking a little pipe or something like that, and it wasn't offensive, it wasn't intrusive, it wasn't choking you with smoke. It was just there, and it was running through. It's got elements of sweetness coming in on it. The mouth feels quite creamy coming from those stout casks, which normally lend that sort of creamy element to the show. I can see why this would have been someone's drink of the year, bottle of the year. Probably not for me, but it's wonderful. It's superb. But I tasted a couple of better whiskies last year. If I'm honest, a couple of the Dunville single casks I thought were just out of this world. Lovely. The arrival, again, fresh. Almost minty, not minty, but almost minty. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of got that. It's almost there, but the smoke takes it back. The smoke's pulling that where you want to say, oh, that's minty. Smoke just pulls that back and doesn't allow it to get to that point. The creaminess of the mouthfeel and the Guinness and all of that sort of works. All the while, the smoke just pulls that in and works away. There's not huge development on the finish. There doesn't need to be, if I'm honest. There doesn't really need to be. There just needs to be that Lagavulin. What Lagavulin does, and does so well, is that putting itself there. In little bits, just moving it on. Not being aggressive, not in your face like Lefroy and Ardbeg and some of the other smoky monsters. Refined, elegant, almost chaste in that it's not running away with itself. It just keeps itself there. But it's light and smoky and little bits of sweetness, little bit of citrus, little bit of spice. It's quite complex without being complex. The smoke's not allowing it to move too far away from where it should be, where it is, where it naturally wants to reside. And the smoke's just compassing it round and bringing it round and round and round. This is excellent. It's really, really, really good. There's a little quote from Nick Offerman on this, and every time I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about how Ron Swanson would do it. But I'll not do an impersonation in case he comes around and shoots me with a shotgun. I have travelled the world and sampled many attempts at pleasing nectars, but it is solely this distillation of Islay, a tiny charismatic Scottish ale, that has claimed my palate, and my heart into the bargain. Nick Offerman. Lots and lots and lots and lots of things to like about this bottle. Hard to pick up now. Pick it up at auction. If you know anybody with it, possibly get a bottle exchange or a sample exchange. When it came out, it was about 90 quid, £90 for the bottle. I've seen it at auction for as little as 80, but then you have to add in fees and shipping, so probably end up being about £100 or thereabouts. So probably not much different. The fact that it's been named Whisky of the Year by a couple of publications and influencers and things, probably bump it up a little bit. But you want to try something really nice, get this. It's well worth getting. Lagavulin, I'm a fan of Lagavulin. I'm a fan of Ron Swanson, fan of Nick Offerman, and everybody knows I love Guinness. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Lots and lots and lots to like about this. So yeah, give it a whirl and see what you think. And I shall catch you again shortly. Take care, everybody. Take care. Bye.